Gentlemen, back to a brand new video today for what is the Bahrain Grand Prix FP1 or practice session 1, whichever way you'd like to say it, I don't mind. But yeah, obviously the title of this video is can we continue this form? And the reason why that is because obviously last time out in Australia we picked up our first rookie points of the season with McLaren. And yeah, hopefully if we can pick more points up here today, then yes, we can continue this form. Otherwise, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, Bahrain, obviously, it's a circuit I'm not too sure about, in terms of, you know, with the McLaren. I do like McLaren, of course, and I do like Bahrain, so the two do go hand in hand. But yeah, I'm not too sure whether we can continue this run, well, this points hopefully scoring streak, and how long will it continue? I honestly do not have a clue. But obviously we're sat 6th place in the Drivers' Championship right now. The aim will be today again to score a decent haul of points, and hopefully in doing so that will be some more points for McLaren. So we got some new parts, so the car should be a little bit maybe more competitive, hopefully, this week at the Bahrain Grand Prix, but we'll soon find out how we get on, as obviously it's daytime here in Bahrain. So here we go then, as we obviously gonna do the track climatization first, get the resource points that we need. Hopefully we get 50. Can't open DRS unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. Won't affect us. Well, it will affect us. And that's the second time we've had this DRS problem, as Verstappen sort of impedes me here. Ah, balls. Proper balls that one up, literally. Verstappen sort of impeded me. I didn't like where he went, so right, obviously no DRS, can't use unfortunately in these practice laps because of the failure. So through sector 1, down through sector 2. Now, by the way, this is probably my favourite part of the circuit. Them turns, series of corners, from turn 4 like all the way down into turn 10. Really enjoy that part of the circuit the most. Obviously no DRS, of course, which I think affects our score anyway. That will get the purple tally.
That's looking good. Now let's try for purple.
So
you'll get a bonus for consistency if you can chain good corners together. There is a fault to the DRS. You won't be able to open the rear wing. We're working on a fix. Stay out.
Why is it 2 cars now each time? Going down into turn 1. So literally, we're just going purple, purple, purple right now. So even if we do get 3 purples here, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Just running around hoping the DRS will be fixed soon. If it's not fixed by the time we get across this time, I think that's the end of them this.
Final lap. This is the final lap of the program.
So it needs to be fixed at least
DRS
before
offline. There's a fault to the rear wing system.
well,
Stay out. We can work on a
the
fix
next
remotely.
DRS zone. So it needs to be fixed before we get into the next DRS zone. If it's not fixed before we get into the next DRS zone, then that means we won't be able to complete the program, and a DRS failure would have let us down then here. Which is second time really. I think that's the end of it anyway. Would DRS been fixed? I don't think it would have. No. So right, we'll return the car to the garage, and we'll do our race run. Obviously DRS will be fixed in the garage anyway. But yeah, a bit of a shame there, so we could only pick up 30, I believe, points, or 20 points, something like that. So not the points we wanted. We wanted more from that little bit of that session. But oh well, we'll take it. We got no other choice but to take it, really. But yeah, looking good then there in that first little, I guess, bit of a session. Overall, we seem to have decent pace overall, I would have said. Now it's time for the race run, of course. Yeah, where we sort of this is part of the session where we're trying to learn how quick we are in the race, how well we're looking after our tyres, and yeah, to really sort of calculate how fast we will be where we're going to finish, hopefully, in the race, and the best strategy. So out of turn 1, 2, 3, open up DRS, down into turn 4. Right now Kimi Räikkönen at the top of the time sheets. Obviously, by the way, folks, take these lap times with a bit of pinch of salt, by the way, that we do in practice always, because, you know, we don't know what fuel anyone else is on. We don't know also whether or not anyone else is pushing harder than myself. Maybe I'm pushing the hardest right now. I just don't know. At the end of the day, you still got to take it with a bit of pinch of salt, you know, all these lap times. And yeah, work out from there, really.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
So that was a decent lap, not gonna lie. Feeling quite connected with this McLaren at the moment, not gonna lie. It feels very, very good indeed right now. Right now, Vettel doing very good time. He's gone the quickest by 2 tenths only, so that's not a lot actually between Vettel and Kimi. So it's going to be less between myself and Kimi.
Okay, super job
So
so
3
far. We're
tenths,
getting great
yeah.
data. Stay focused.
That's not bad. We're more or less on the pace of the Ferrari right now. Like, genuinely, we're on the pace of Ferrari, which is pretty decent if we're on that pace. Like, we're about 3 tenths down a lap, but that don't fuss me too much. Ah, gone wide here. Made a mistake into turn 10. At least we made it now. Still not lost too much out on our delta, though, which is good. So, lap times seemingly okay right now on this medium tyre.
Great lap.
So that was the worst of all the laps we did there overall. But yeah, looking okay. I'm not going to say that we're perfect. In terms of tyre wear, well, tyre wear ain't too bad either by the looks of it. Looks like we're on a par with our tyre wear. Which is okay by me. Now we're going to do the tyre wear run. This will give us basically a real indication of how well our car treating the tyres. And in exact parts where we're probably a bit harsh on the tyres as well. So yeah, right now obviously, yeah, things looking decent, but they're not looking perfect by no means of measure. Obviously Mercedes looking very good, leading a 1-2 right now, I believe, at the top of the timesheets. Certainly Boyers anyway on top. So right, this is tyre wear run, so this will tell us how well we treat the tyres as we go on the lap. Then here, down into turn 1. We power our way out of that corner quite nicely. Right now, so far this session, or this would indicate, our car's on a par. Right, suggesting we're doing brilliant in terms of looking after our tyres. A little bit of a slide as we catch the car, thank God. So 7 tenths and we're down on, behind Sebastian Vettel. So that's how I'm doing a very decent lap, obviously. Again, fuel does make a bit of a difference, so we don't know whether that's genuine pace or not. We're now going to do a qualifying run. I believe that'll be the final practice program of the day and then we'll jump straight into qualifying, where we're looking very good. I think Q3 is certainly on the cards here, 100%, you know, this week, which is certainly good, as Vettel is now just ahead of us, but Leclerc on top of the timesheets. Obviously, I imagine Ferrari will be pretty strong. Obviously, Verstappen leading the championship right now. He'll be looking to get maybe another win as well to his belt, but it's not going to be an easy circuit for the Red Bulls, I don't think, this weekend, because, you know, really you need good engine, and you know, do Red Bulls have? I'm not too sure. But anyway, out of turn 1 through turn 2, as we blast our way down the back straight here. I've gone a bit deep into the corner, which isn't that good, but oh well. We're up on Charles Leclerc's time, which is interestingly through that first sector. Literally, I'm going to have to use a flashback. I do want to get this in. I do want to get the points. So, certainly capable of getting points as well. That's the thing. Alright, open up the car. So go second with that. That's a decent lap.
We're happy with that.
I'm gonna take that. Like, you know, because that was a bit of a difficult lap actually overall. Like, as in we were making quite a few errors on that lap. But yeah, we'll take it. And we'll now fast forward and skip into quali. So yeah, overall, teammate looking okay. We're looking a lot quicker actually. I may actually turn up the difficulty. Let me have a look what difficulty we're on. 94. We're going to turn it up to 95. Or should we? 96. We'll go to 96. We'll see how we get on 96. I know we could be doing a jerking reaction sort of thing, if you get where I'm coming from. Maybe we're reacting a bit too fast. But I just feel like, you know, that's a bit too big of a gap between myself and my teammate. I feel like it should be a lot closer, of course. Overall, like maybe not so much as you see there, like maybe a bit closer anyway. So yeah, like certainly shouldn't be, I don't think, that much of a gap between myself and my teammate. Certainly not, certainly not over 9 tenths. I think it should be more like 3 to 4 tenths maybe, you know, between myself and my teammate. Like, that feels a bit too easy right now. Maybe the game, you know, is a bit too easy for me. I don't know. I honestly could be getting better, which is most likely the case. I've played it now for how many months? Came out in June, so, you know, what are we in now? November, so that's 5 months equally, you know, but anyway. Should be a dry session here at the Bahrain GP circuit. I would like to think, because it's Bahrain, like, you know, raining in a desert doesn't sound quite familiar, you know. But anyway, here we go then. For what is the Bahrain Q1, and we seem to be out in quite a nice bit of traffic. Don't seem to be too many cars following us out now. Haas leaves its carriage, but yeah, you know, seems like a little bit of a nice track position here then. On our outlap, obviously it's a lot colder than what it was, so obviously aim for this session is to just go through to Q2. Hopefully we can get like one run in based on, you know, Q1, FP1. We looked very good in, well, around the circuit so far. The car has felt quite good actually. Hopefully that's not deception or practice caught me out here. But yeah, aim is getting Q2, then Q2 getting to Q3, and see where we go from there really. That's the aim anyway. But what we aim for isn't necessarily what we always achieve. Gotta bear that in mind. How are we looking also on engine reliability? ICE on 25%, so probably have to take a new ICE maybe in China, which is a bit concerning. I don't mind really going through power units this season. You know, so long we're not taking the power unit, well, we're on our 10th power unit by the end of the season, not too fast. So here we go then. So down into turn 1. Open up car for turn 2, 3. By the way, been watching some Christmas films. I don't know whether any of you guys been watching any Christmas films. Obviously, it's not too long till Christmas now. Today is 22nd. Only a month to go, really. So, looking good. Obviously, I believe the Williams, either Kubica or Russell, will be first set at time, but we'll probably immediately be that. So 1 minute 31. So the aim's to beat that, of course. Can we do so? Yes, we do. Not by much though. Only a second actually. Back to George. We'll have to wait and see whether Haas come round, and Haas do come round a bit slower than us. So Sainz also came round a bit slower than myself as well, but. So right now we're on provisional pole in this first session. I don't know actually how that stacks up. 1 minute 30.1. So Albon, it's slower than us, but he is on the mediums. Like, you know. Have to remember that. So right now, McLaren 1-2, by the way, in FP1. Let's see how long that lasts. Well, I've beaten Verstappen, who's on a set of softs. Okay, so that's good. Obviously, Sainz still, by the way, in the top 3 nonetheless. So still going well is Sainz. Us two McLaren's going very well until Lewis Hamilton rocks up and destroys my lap time by 1 second. Of course, I guess that's expected though from the McLaren driver, from the Mercedes driver. But yeah. So we're now sort of getting pushed back down the order, probably where we deserve to be. More so, because we're certainly not a Ferrari. But that was a decent lap time then. What I did there, I did feel like it was a good lap time. In terms of how the car felt, it didn't feel like we were struggling, if that makes sense, at any one part during the lap. I felt quite comfortable with the car overall, so yeah. Obviously, it looked like we're probably done it to get through to Q2 here, so I may just sim the time forward. I feel like we have actually completed it. We're going to get through to Q2 safely here in this session, so yeah, I do feel like we can fast forward the time, save a set of tyres. We'll obviously have a look though where that time does put us. So 3 tenths ahead of our teammate. So my teammate, that's more like it then. So I'd say we're certainly a little bit better. But in terms of the time, we're only a second down. In terms of how far clear we are of the drop zone, not too sure. I think we may have to go out for a second lap. I'm not too sure. I don't want to say we will, but yeah, we're looking very good. It looked like also my teammate did a very good lap time. So Albon will 100% have to go out. Let's have a look with 5 minutes remaining who's going to have to go out and improve their lap. So right, 5 minutes to go now in the session. So the cut-off is a 1:31. I'm going to say Stroll won't improve by a second, will he? He won't. Like, let's face it. So I'm going to say we're through. We should be safely through. Even if Alex Albon, does go faster than us, I'm not really too concerned because I think we have just done enough to get through. We're about half a second behind, you know, the two Ferraris and behind Bottas. We're about 3/10 ahead of our teammate. You know, I think that should be just about enough for Q3, as obviously Hamilton goes even quicker. We're now starting to see ourselves drop down the order, but there we go then. So my teammate does improve by about 3/10, and enough to go 2/10 clear of myself. But at the end of the day, that's a very good, solid start to qualifying then here in Q1. So yeah, very, very happy with that. Obviously Q2 now. So this is part of qualifying where we need to get through to make it into the top 10 shootout. But at the same time, having said we need to get through to make it into the top 10 shootout, I don't really want to necessarily get through using two set of tyres. I want to protect all set of my tyres, bearing that in mind. So there's a lot to do here in Q2, a lot more than it actually looks. But hopefully we can just go out. We've got to make sure the outlap is nice and easy, but also we got to make sure the in-lap's nice and easy. So there's a lot to do. Plus we've got to make sure we do a lap good enough to get through to the next part of qualifying. So here we go then, on our outlap. We'll make sure we get into the first few corners ahead of the Toro Rosso. So yeah, we're just going to push tyres a little bit in this first sector, just so we build a bit of breathing room between us and maybe the car behind the Toro Rosso, of course. And then we'll let Toro Rosso probably through on the exit of turn 4 here then. So obviously, so far, so good. Now we've got to take it as easy. We're just literally going to crawl around this lap now. Hopefully not drop too much tyres. Hopefully have a good lap. Now, obviously, as I say, the aim is to get into the third part of qualifying. I think we do have the car, certainly by the looks of it, that can do it. Because, you know, my teammate, you know, obviously did a very decent lap. Obviously, track grip will ramp up. We may have to go out for 2 laps in this session, which I am going to prepare for 100% this time. But yeah, we're looking pretty decent. Now we've got also a second set of tyres, by the way, which is obviously good for us in this session compared to my teammate, who really only has 1 set, unless he burns into his Q3 tyres. Then obviously he's got 2 sets. So yeah. And we're out.
Are you alright?
What the F have I done there? Literally. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Right, let's do it again. So, I honestly don't know. Right, here we go then. That time, a lot better out of the final corner. The final corner did catch us off guard then there. And heading down into turn 1, then here we go then. On, hopefully, just a lap good enough to get us into the third and final part of qualifying as we feed the car through turn 2 and turn 3, open up the DRS as we head into turn 4, then brake into turn 4, a little bit wider than through turn 4, but that won't affect the lap too much, it shouldn't do, as we set the fastest first sector, which has been somewhere where we've been certainly strong by the looks of it in quali this year. As we go up the hill, then downhill, tricky braking, tricky turn 10 is always to get right, even on the exit. Got to be careful how you sort of load the throttle and plant it then down the straight into turn 11 and uphill. Next bit also a bit tricky. You got to be careful of the curb on the right. Don't want to touch it too much. Just brush it, literally. Give it the smallest of glances as you head into turn 12 and 13. So open up the car for turn 14. And into turn 15. Be careful on how you get on the power. Open up the car, use DRS to good effect, and we will go faster. only a little bit faster than our Q1 time actually, but it is quicker than Sainz. Albon goes even quicker than that by a further 2/10. So Albon on right now provisional pole. We did a very good lap time actually there. Now first lap was good enough here for Q1, but we've got to protect these tyres on this in lap now, which is always the tricky bit. You know, we've just impeded Vel. Vel isn't on a lap, I don't believe, so literally all we're doing is slowing down, and we're literally protecting these tyres now until we get to the pits really. And if these tyres are in really good shape by the time we get to the pits, we may try and avoid coming out for that obviously second lap again, which will only save again another set of tyres and only benefit us if we can do this strategy where we can just use one set of tyres each time. You know, obviously in Q3 we're 100% going for 2 laps because you can improve your time significantly, but yeah, obviously the whole point of these part of qualifying is not to burn out your tyres or to burn out as many sets as possible, or to burn out as least sets as possible. That's what I meant to say, but oh well. Muddling up my words again. All natural, part of the program. But yeah, in terms of how we're protecting these tyres are doing fairly okay. I think these tyres, if we can get them back to the pits in this shape, will be certainly a treat and a half, because you know, Bahrain, it isn't an easy one to protect your tyres here. It can be quite a difficult one actually, overall, to protect tyre wear. So there we go, we're coming now into the pits, obviously. We're sat in 4th right now, which is a very decent position indeed. We're ahead of Sergio Perez, which is obviously good indeed as well, because he's one of our main rivals, I guess, this season. Not too sure yet who our main rival is so far this season, but at the end of the day, Sergio Perez, I imagine, will be there throughout the course of the season. And, you know, really what we want to do, we want to break away as quickly as possible as well from this midfield pack and open up a gap. So we're going to need this midfield championship, really, because right now we're in the, I guess, Group B championship. Right. In terms of time, 8/10 split myself and Pierre Gasly. Looks like my teammate's going to struggle a bit more to get into this next part of the session, but I'm happy with how things are. And in fact, I'm feeling like this is good enough this time. 7/10, that's a lot of time to find, even for me. I don't know whether I'd be able to find that. And, yep, we do make into Q3, so we're in Q3 then. My teammate is knocked out, unfortunately, in this second part of quali. Only 8/10 between ourselves, so not as close as it was in the first part, but we're looking very, very solid indeed. So yeah, I'm not too sure where we can end up on the grid. I think, you know, really we have to certainly aim for, you know, well, maybe 7th. If we can get Albon for 8th, that'd be a very good result indeed. So yeah, you know, overall I'm looking forward to this next part of quali, because we're looking very good indeed. Obviously it's certainly a little bit closer now, and I think Sergio Perez and myself are going to be battling for certainly 7th and 8th. I don't know whether or not we're going to be battling for also, you know, the next position as well. But yeah, things looking very, very good. So we're going to go now. Obviously, we've got 2 laps in this part of quali, which is something I like, okay? We can now sort of treat this as a normal final part of quali, just like how the Mercedes could, or how Ferrari can, or how Red Bull can. We don't have to, you know, sit back and wait for half the session to go by, sort of thing, and then do our lap, or for all the session to go by and then do our lap. We can sort of get a banker lap in, sort of do that, see where we're lacking a little bit of pace, and then try and beat that lap. And also we get the benefit of 2 sets of tyres as well, so really, really is, you know, perfect conditions for us here in this second part of quali. Sorry, final part of quali, not second part, but yeah. So we can really, really attack now. and we don't have to protect anything. So yeah, we've literally gone into the final part of quali. It's pretty perfect, pitch perfect for us, and pitch perfect for us on the McLaren. Then here at the Bahrain circuit, of course, of Shakir, I think is Shakir, not too sure. You know, very well. So obviously, it's time to build up the pace here. So, obviously, one more corner to negotiate before we start our lap. So, now turn up the engine to its maximum revs as we fly through that final corner. Then here at the Bahrain International Circuit, open up the DRS, use the maximum power available. Then here on this first lap of the 2 laps we're going to do, brake as late as we dare into turn 1, then turn the car, be gentle in the power, feed the car through turn 1, 2 and 3, then open up the car again, use the DRS, maximum power again, brake as late as we dare into turn 4, down into 3rd gear, then back on into 4th straight away on the exit, through turn 5, 6, bouncing over curb at 7 and 8, so not a good sector then there, but okay, we've got 2 more laps, remember, or 1 more lap, sorry, to improve. Getting a bit too much curb, getting a bit greedy here I am, probably a little bit in this part of quali, but that don't matter, because remember, we've got another lap to come our way, and that's a great thing about having 2 sets of tyres. We can be a bit greedy, we can push the limit, make mistakes here on this first flan lap, so long they're not killer mistakes, then that's all that counts, you know what I mean, like, push the car to its absolute limit now. And Verstappen does a 1:29.8. That is the time to beat as we are heading now towards the final corner, through the final turn, a little bit out onto the curving, but that's okay as we run towards the line. It's a 1:29.5, so that's a very, very good time, and I honestly don't know where that came from in the car. Ahead of Max Verstappen, well ahead of Grosjean then there in this final part of quali. And obviously, remember, we did make, I think, a few mistakes, so maybe there's more time. Are we in the hunt for pole? I don't think we are, but that's a very good time nonetheless. That's a very good lap indeed that we let Grosjean go by then here. Then, so, yeah, decent lap indeed. Ahead of Leclerc, behind Lewis Hamilton. That was a very good opening lap of quali. Then, as I say, we were making a few mistakes, and even with them mistakes, clearly we've gone even faster, as now Bottas does a 1:28.8, so not a bad lap time from Valtteri Bottas. Obviously, I think that confirms we're not in quite the hunt for pole position, but 3rd place, I don't know, genuinely, this could be. Like last time we were almost in the hunt for 3rd, like in the race anyway. But this is very, very good indeed. In our second outing for McLaren, we're in the top 10, let alone, well, we're in the top 3, let alone the top 10, as what our target requires us to be. So, we're doing a very decent job indeed here then for the McLaren team. As we come around the final corner, we are going to pit back in. And yeah, things are looking very good indeed, obviously. With obviously 1 more run remaining, of course, we're looking to improve as well. Can we do a low 29? I just wonder, like we've done now a mid 29, can we do a low 29, obviously? Clearly we had all the power available there. Yeah, that lap was very good indeed, wasn't it? Like, very, very good lap. So, 1 more lap remaining now. Things look good. It has to be said. We're looking very good here, actually. The car feels good as well, so that's equal part. Which is obviously something I can only compliment. So, yeah, we're only half a second off. We're ahead of both Ferraris, both Red Bulls, and ahead of our main rival, Sergio Perez and Roman Grosjean so far. So, yeah, things are certainly looking good indeed. We'll go out with around 2 minutes remaining then here. So time to go out. Time to set our final lap of the day. So, right now, we're on the second row of the grid. And right now, we're in 3rd place. Only half a second behind pole position. With 1 lap still to remain. So, what can we do? I genuinely do not know. Can we get 3rd place? Can we even challenge for pole? I don't think we can, but at the end of the day, we're looking good, neither here or there, as we come out of our pit lane now. We've only got around 10 seconds to now get round to the pit straight, so we're leaving this as really late as possible here then. So on this second lap, we're going to sort of take a bit more of a calmer approach. You know, sort of try and be less aggressive with the use of curbs, but at the same time, we're not going to be too less aggressive. We're still going to try and use as much curbing as possible. We're going to try and obviously get focused on them exits, especially where I feel like we've made a few errors, where I feel like we've done very well. I'm going to obviously be as aggressive sort of thing. So yeah, we're not going to be too shy, don't get me wrong, but we're not going to be either as neither aggressive, so we're going to be a bit more tamed, I think the word should be, on this lap. Then here, we've got around 30 seconds remaining, so certainly good on time.
Left in the session.
So we've got around, I think, 8 seconds before we have to be across that line. So here we go then, good exit off the final corner, which is, again, what you really want here. As we head down into turn 1, again, brake as late as we dare. And we're already improving our lap time here. Car feels absolutely magical right now. So right now we're 4/10 up, by the way, which is very good indeed. And we're only a tenth down on pole. Can we go get pole, or is that a bit too much to ask? I think certainly probably a little bit too much to ask out of this McLaren, but I think we are going to get 3rd place here. I would like to hope so. Anyway, we're about 10th and a half up on the lap, so we haven't done as good, but it's 3rd place, and that is an absolutely astonishing achievement in this McLaren already. And wow, what a session. The car just kept on getting better and better then for the race. Yeah, I honestly don't think we will be able to hold on to that. I think if we can beat the 2 Red Bulls now, which is more than a possibility, that would be some sort of achievement. But, you know, 3rd place in the race, you've got to say that is a very decent lap indeed. Like, absolutely, you know, special lap that is. One of my all-time best surprises ever. But 3rd place, brilliant, brilliant lap. I'm really, really proud of myself there, because, you know, that's not easy to do. 3rd place, yeah, I'm just going to keep on saying 3rd place, aren't I? You know, that's absolutely fabulous. So, you know, successful indeed. We've got to be really, really pleased with ourselves there. And yeah, we're on the 2nd row of the grid, behind the 2 Mercedes. And we can cause a bit of havoc as well, because, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, well, if we've genuinely got this pace in the race, I'm not gonna, you know, sit there and expect, you know, to lay down quietly sort of thing. I'm gonna try and make as much noise as possible, you know what I mean, going into this one. So here we go, so we're on a 2-stop. That's the strategy anyway for us. Let's go then. So Hamilton, Bottas, then myself, Vettel is in third, fourth, just behind me. Then we got the 2 Ferraris, then the 2 Red Bulls. My teammate is a long, long way behind, but neither here or there. We're focusing on ourselves. And if it stays like this as well, do bear in mind we will hold on to third, and we will, not third, sixth, sorry. We will open up, I was going to say, a massive gap in the championship to some of them best of the rest competition. As we sort of skittled off the track there. Don't want to be doing that too often. So lap 7 is when we come in to fit on a new set of soft tyres, which isn't too many laps into a race, so pretty good actually. Yeah, we're looking good. So let's see how we do like in this race from third place. It's now race time, and that's what we got to focus on. The what happened in quali is now done. What's going to happen in the race is our next achievement and our next, you know, aim. The aim is, well, as I say, I don't know whether we're going to be able to go with, well, I doubt we're going to be able to go with the 2 Mercedes, but if we can maybe hold the Ferraris at bay for maybe a few laps till the first pit stop, then fight with Red Bulls till the checkered flag, I think that is an aim. Certainly got to beat one of Red Bulls. I know that is sort of setting my targets a little bit low, but I think a podium would be a bit touch and go, if you know what I mean. And I don't know whether I have that in me to just keep up for the entire race. I just don't know. We'll see. Like, we did qualify ahead of the Ferraris, but that is qualifying pace, not race pace. And there is a difference sometimes, as we will prepare for this race start, starting in P3 behind the 2 Mercedes. What can we do into the first corner? Can we even get in the lead? That would be a phenomenal achievement if we could. But we'll soon find out. Here then. So, here we go then, for the first time in our McLaren career. For the first time in my career. And starting in the top 3. By red lights. It's lights and away we go. It's been an okay start, not the greatest. We come to the inside, Vettel to the inside as well, as Leclerc goes past, but Vettel makes a bit of a lockup which compromises my run into turn 1, sorry, and a little bit of a knock. I'm going to use a flashback, not to gain a position, but just so we don't pick up any damage then here. Oh, still picking up a bit of damage. Don't want to pick up any damage, so literally just gonna, you know, avoid that damage. There we go then. So I'm happy with that. So 2 Ferraris immediately getting past me on the race start, which isn't great, but isn't outrunning yet, as Leclerc now makes his way up into third. I did say third would be a bit hard to hold on to, and sure enough it was indeed. Didn't even barely last a corner, but now the race settles down. Let's try and work our way hopefully back up through the field, and let's see what we can do in 5th place now. But even if we finish 5th ahead of the 2 Red Bulls, that'd be still, as I say, some sort of achievement then here. And we got to see what we can do. Gap slightly opening up to Verstappen. It has already, about, I'd say, over half second just in it, but let's see what we can do. So there is first of the 2 Ferraris, and we seem... I'm going to use a flashback. So 3 flashbacks already, not a good start overall, so let's settle down for a bit. try and just keep up with the two Ferraris. Let's see. We're in the slipstream of Sebastian right now, and ahead of Verstappen quite nicely. Oh, really, Vettel? Broke so late. Probably we broke too late. Well, broke too early, I think. So Verstappen going to be right on my tail down this straight by the time we get to the back of it. And I think Ferraris, as I say, do probably have a bit too much pace in that car overall, as Verstappen will go down the inside, will he? So we leave Verstappen a bit of room. And nice work. So we're still sat in 5th. As gap to Ferrari's now starting to creep up. But the question is, can we, gain, as one of the Mercedes is now out of this race. Huge engine failure for Valtteri Bottas. That is huge then. That promotes us up into 4th. So Vettel's now in 3rd, Leclerc in 2nd, so that does mean Hamilton will take, obviously, the lead of the race then from Bottas, of course, here. As we are keeping up with Ferraris, just about. I think Vettel's looking a bit more racy than Charles Leclerc right now, his teammate, which obviously wouldn't surprise me. Let's see what we can do, as we certainly a little bit better than this lap in terms of closing in. Certainly though the straights where we're looking a little bit vulnerable ourselves, as Leclerc now makes a defensive move. So I think this is going to see Vettel pass on this straight. I think here then, I wouldn't be surprised as Vettel whizzed past then the 2nd Scarlet Ferrari of Charles Leclerc without making contact this time, unlike the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Vettel promotes himself up into 2nd behind now Lewis Hamilton, the race leader. As we still go on our way, we're looking quite good. We're heading Verstappen here, but now Leclerc looking like he's got a bit more speed. We'll soon see. Obviously DRS probably helping Leclerc out a little bit here now, which we're just outside that DRS zone. We're about 2nd behind these two Ferraris who are fighting, but if they fight a little bit more, which could only help us actually.
Battery charge is high.
So obviously having to circulate between the two energy modes. Let's see. We've got DRS here on Charles Leclerc. Obviously Charles is way out of the slipstream as the two Ferraris go and fighting through these series of corners. So now Leclerc looking a bit more racy than obviously Vettel here. And this is only bringing me back into play here then. And it's bringing also Verstappen into play. Verstappen doesn't seem to quite have the pace through the middle sector, but through the last sector he's closing right up to the back of my car. Then here, as we come back into play. So yeah, through that middle sector then. But here goes Charles Leclerc on Sebastian Vettel then. So now Charles Leclerc will be the one who has the upper hand. And Leclerc now takes that 2nd place off his teammate Vettel. As I say, whilst all this happens, this just really helps me out a little bit then here. Whilst these two Ferraris go wheel to wheel, battling for what is 2nd. And I wonder whether Mattia Binotto will be sort of informing them that they're allowing Hamilton to get away and really pushing themselves back into the path of my McLaren. Then here, as we will not obviously go for a move yet, but obviously helping me out every little bit then here. So we're building a gap certainly to the midfield, and we're keeping up with certainly these two here then. We get a lot of wheel spin off that corner. That's going to push me back then into the path of Verstappen then here. But Leclerc going defensive then again, compromising his teammate Vettel then here. And again, both of these two Ferrari drivers sort of just really not helping one another out here. And this is pushing me right into the DRS zone and pushing also Verstappen right into DRS zone as well equally. So in terms of our lap times, well, they're not bad, like certainly not Ferrari catchable, but Verstappen going to be right alongside. Here goes then Max Verstappen. He overtakes me for the race then of 4th place here as us two, then Ferrari and Red Bull go wheel to wheel. We're going to have the inside line as we take that inside line and we hold on to just about 4th place then, as we were momentarily overtaken, but Verstappen going to come back. We go a bit deep into the corner. This will allow Verstappen back in the door, wheel to wheel. Then through these turns, wheel to wheel, then who's going to have the line? It's myself who gets the line in the end, and we hold on to 4th place then. But that shows that then how it's going to be difficult to even hold on to 4th against Verstappen, as the tyres slightly probably wearing out also a little bit here. But yeah, obviously, yeah, they certainly are wearing out a little bit here then. So now, them two Ferraris, even though they're battling, not having such a effect then here. As we push on in this race, still doing very good though, at the end of the day. 4th place, I wouldn't mind it either way. That'd be equaling Sainz's best result. Actually no, 3rd place would equal Sainz's best result now. I forgot he scored a podium. Just shows, because he's not usually up there though. So here we go then. Verstappen gonna have the inside line. We're gonna get the DRS though for the next corner, and Verstappen locks up, but that could be crucial lock up actually for Verstappen, because we sort of had to lift out the braking and sort of change our steering. Let's have a quick look at that again. I want to take an instant replay on that, because right, Verstappen literally locks up his tyres, and as you see, literally locks up that front right. We were turning in as he was doing so, then luckily I noticed he locked up and we had to sort of get out the steering just to avoid making contact, otherwise that would have broken our front wing then there. So we had to sort of compromise ourselves into the turn 1, which isn't good. Whether or not that was intentionally done, I'm not too sure, but yeah, that certainly wasn't nice by Max Verstappen, who certainly locked up there. Let's have a look what it was on like from Verstappen. Was he just carrying too much speed? Oh no, he genuinely locked, I think he locked his front right first, did he? Let's have a look. Yeah, he locked the front right, I believe, first. Yeah, it was front right he locked up first, then he started locking both tyres to slow the car down. And you can just see millimetres away from taking out our front wing. Absolute millimetres then there. But we will have DRS all day. We've just literally cocked up. That was because, not because of Verstappen, but because of we weren't concentrating there, sort of thing. But yeah, not good either way, because it just means like Verstappen gains that position sort of a bit unfairly in my opinion. Like, I hope that lockup does him no favours then there, because, you know, obviously just means we lose out that position, in my opinion, as I said, a bit unfairly to some degree, because obviously now we're sat in 5th rather than 4th, but nonetheless we will have a slipstream, let's not forget that. So long we keep up with Verstappen, we keep within that DRS range, we should be able to re-overtake him down the main straight, I would have liked to think. So yeah. So overall, Verstappen obviously running in 4th, we're running in 5th, Albon 6th. Obviously the two Ferraris still fighting for 2nd and 3rd here in this obviously Grand Prix, as one Ferrari now makes a pit. I'm not too sure which one it is, but this obviously is, it's Vettel who comes in. So here we go then on Verstappen. We let Verstappen sort of go into the corner, and we're going to look for the cutback, get better exit then, use turn 4 as our advantage, and this is where now we're going to get Verstappen. We go to the inside, take the inside line then as we squeeze Verstappen then to the outside, and we're going to make sure we get that inside line then there for the next corner. That sent us back in to P4, and we're obviously also counting ourselves then this lap, so obviously we're reacting. Now I wonder whether Leclerc's going to go in, or is Leclerc going to go on to a different strategy. Sometimes you do see this from the AI now, where you know the AI don't necessarily react to what other drivers are doing, but Verstappen certainly not looking now as racy after that lockup, looking maybe a bit more slow due to maybe that lockup. Maybe he's taken some grip out of his tyres, and yeah, certainly our grip's gone here in this race, certainly from our tyres now. But yeah, can't wait till we get a fresh set of tyres now on the car. It'll be joyful, I'll tell you that now, because our tyres are literally, well, gone, put it that way, 66% almost then there, as we come around the final corner. We are going to pit in now this lap. Okay, good. So we just made the speed limit in time, so in comes Leclerc, in comes Hamilton. Hamilton delayed, I think, slightly by myself, but on goes our fresh set of tyres. What's going on? Literally all the time. So right, second attempt to get this right with McLaren. There we go. So we're on our way, 2.8 seconds that took. So, right, Albon, interestingly, pitted before Verstappen.
Only one stop to go.
So I would think Albon will obviously... Ooh. So yeah, I would think Verstappen would come out behind myself. Alright, Vettel's gone on to the mediums. Kubica's on mediums behind me, but Kubica ain't someone who we need to worry about. So Vettel's gone for a harder compound then here. So we should be able to get Vettel quite quickly during this race and then break away from Vettel. Or during this stint anyway, because, you know, Vettel shouldn't be too hard. But it does mean I would have thought at the end of the race, Vettel may be going on to a set of softs. Let's see whether we can get Vettel. Obviously, that Ferrari power engine is not going to be easy to overtake, especially not in a straight line. You know, probably need a longer straight than that. Probably need straight as big as, I don't know. But in the corners, we're going to be right up Vettel's chuff. Literally. So here we go then. Can we line pass up? Finn will have to wait. Vettel does go a bit defensive then here into the corner. Vettel doesn't make, I don't think, next line easier here. So here we go then. We're going to blast past Sebastian Vettel as Verstappen is going to be close on exit then here with us. And will we retake? Oh! Having to sort of push Vettel wide, but that's okay. And also, we got a car between ourselves and Vettel then here, so that's not bad actually. Overall, worked out quite nicely then here. That sort of did. And now, with next up is Russell. So Russell is next. He's on the medium tyre. So this is the thing. Now we may get, or start to get, some medium tyre runners who are on a harder compound, but also naturally slower than us right now in this part of the race. Also may get some runners who are maybe not quite on the same tyre. I'm not going to risk breaking our front wing to get past. I'm just going to get past quite quickly through using straight line speed to our advantage on DRS, of course, and we've whizzed past George Russell then there. And that's us now up into P11. So next up is Lance Stroll, son of Lawrence Stroll and son of the team owner of Racing Point, of course. Let's not forget that. And now we can sort of bridge this gap because of the back markers and traffic here. Obviously Verstappen not quite getting past before the DRS. but nonetheless he will probably get past either way down this straight, and that may bring Verstappen back onto us now here. Perez is in the pits and Stroll still going then here on his way, and Russell somehow amazingly keeping ahead both of Verstappen and obviously the Ferrari of Vettel. I do wonder whether obviously they've got a bit of DRS. Russell has, he must have surely, from my car. He's got to. Right. Obviously Lance Stroll gonna have so much worn tyres. We're gonna go down the inside then here. And that's a nice move then. So that puts us a bit more clear. And next up is Leclerc, who's stuck behind again. Another back marker. So these two, well, this has been so far a great part of the race for us actually, because we're able to use our tyres effectively, plus we're getting past the lap traffic here quite quickly, so we're not getting delayed all too much in this traffic. We're getting past them quite nicely indeed. So this has certainly been a better part of the race, I'd say, for us than other cars around us. Like Leclerc has been really delayed there in this part of the race, and obviously we're basically almost right on his gearbox as we do our fastest lap, and obviously those behind already 3 seconds. Let's not forget now of Stroll and Vettel, so you know that gap behind really has opened up as we get a little bit cuckoo off the corner, and we do lose a little bit of time behind now Raikkonen. We will in this middle sector, but yeah, obviously I'm okay for now. Probably suffering a little bit with tyre wear. Can we go around the outside here? As Raikkonen doesn't let us go around the outside, not there anyway. Probably a bit ambitious anyway. So Ferrari engine is probably going to help out Raikkonen here. Right, let's try and go around the outside. We'll get Raikkonen, and there we go. We're up into P8 now, behind Charles Leclerc, running very, very well we are.
2 seconds.
So we're ahead of Verstappen by a good 3 or 4 seconds now in the race. Next up is Danny Kvyat, who is in 7th place. Should easily get Kvyat. He's on the mediums compared to us on a fresh set of brand new softs. However, that soft tyre, well, our soft tyres will be starting to go off ever so slowly now, and that edge on them will just be a little bit less each lap. But my teammate has really elevated himself here. Has he brought himself into play? I'm not too sure. I doubt it, but certainly he elevated himself up into, I think, was now, is he the race leader? My teammate Carlos Sainz could be the race leader here. So yeah, looking very good then. We carry through the field, and now
Let's use some of this energy.
we're gonna start overtaking this group of cars. However, really DRS won't be too effective. So we're closing right on to the back of Charles Leclerc, and we are racing Charles Leclerc quite genuinely actually here, because Leclerc is only what, you know, in net race when he came in, we were about 1 second behind Leclerc. So we are genuinely racing Charles. And down the inside, quite nice. Now next up is Charles Leclerc himself. However, I would have thought that it'd probably be another car before we're actually on the back of Charles, as we use a bit of a slipstream.
3 places above objective now.
So things are looking quite good. So we're going to get a double toe down this straight from Daniel Ricciardo and the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. We're just going to tuck in the slipstream of Daniel, and we're getting dragged just ever so slightly. Probably can't see it too much. but things are going well in this race, very well indeed, in fact. Now, obviously I do wonder how long these tyres can go in terms of for the medium runners, because this would tell us whether or not we're fighting Vettel or we're fighting Leclerc, and who we've got to get past to maybe make it into one of the podium positions. But right now, you know, gotta be careful. Don't want to take out front wing. Gotta be a bit careful in terms of how we or who we make a move on and when we make the move. So down the inside of Ricciardo. Leclerc now moves his pass up into thirds. He is now. So right now things are looking okay. Next up is Pierre Gasly. A good exit, come on. Too good of exit maybe there.
Okay, battery's looking good. You can use overtake to get past.
DRS will be in effect here.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
So Honda versus Renault. Very late. There we go then, that's pretty good. So we're now up into 5th. Next up is Magnussen, who's obviously always a tricky one to get past. Never easy, he ain't, because obviously, well, he likes a bit of a fight, don't he? Magnussen does.
1.5 seconds.
So no doubt he's gonna try and block me. But right now we're leading the 2 Red Bulls and the Ferrari of Vettel, so things are going well. Teammate status.
Gap to teammate ahead is 6.8 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in first. The time last lap was a 1 minute 34.8.
So my teammate is going for the 1 stop here. So next up is Kevin Magnussen, who in a moment in time we should be able to get past through using the DRS. Should be a bit easier now.
Okay, looks like you're running on some slightly worn rubber at this point.
There
you
we go.
Still have a fair amount of grip left, but be mindful, it's going to start falling away.
So, right, we're past now Kevin Magnussen, the final, well, sorry, not final, it's Sainz who is our final overtake. Then we're going on to soon the medium tyre, which will take us to the end of this race, it should. So yeah, this stint certainly been a pretty good stint actually, like I would have thought and like to say, because we've been pretty quick, like, through the stint, and we've opened up now a bit of a gap to Verstappen and certainly to Vettel now. Like, obviously Vettel being on the mediums, you would expect him to be certainly slower, but, you know, in terms of Verstappen, because of the way it came out of the pits, well, we almost went into Verstappen a little bit coming out of the pits there, quite frankly. Had to sort of thread our car like a needle through a hole in the gap, sort of thing, you know. Neither here or there. That's a bad analogy. Still. So, doing well.
This lap, push hard on the in-lap.
So 2 seconds is the gap back to Magnussen.
Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds per lap.
Teammate status.
We're trailing our teammate by 5.2 seconds. They're on old hards. They're in second.
So intriguingly, my teammate has done really well on his hard stint. Okay, and he's actually gonna, well, we're gonna have benefit of another undercut, but my teammate gonna not come out too far behind in this final stint. I wouldn't say so. Like, it's only gonna be 5 seconds, so 5 seconds isn't much, but we're pitting this lap, let's not forget. So, is my teammate actually got himself back into maybe a race fighting position sort of thing? Like, genuinely, because he's gonna be, well, we're now 3 to 4 seconds behind. Teammate status?
Box. Gap to teammate ahead is 5.2 seconds.
5.2 seconds. We're going in now.
The time last lap was a 1 minute 34.
How has he done that, Carlos Sainz? I genuinely do not know. Then we come. So is Verstappen. Leclerc's going to get held up by both myself and Verstappen. Oh, come on. It always happens to me, don't it? I really hate pit stops in this game. 5 second penalty for speeding in pit lane. Even though we never. There you go. Probably unsafe release anyway. Right, final stint of the day. So,
pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the
we're
end.
P9 now, so we're still in a point scoring position. And Leclerc's going slowly.
Caution.
Will that bring out a safety car?
Green flag.
I genuinely don't know. I hope not. Because now I need to gain 5 seconds on my teammate. Plus we need to keep Verstappen at bay. Like, you know.
Increase ERS deployment. It's time to use some of this charge.
Teammate status.
We're trailing our teammate by 28.1 seconds.
So my teammate is genuinely...
The time last lap was a 1:34.7.
My teammate is genuinely going to come out ahead of us here. So somehow my teammate's got in front. Through... I don't know how. He's only got in front by 5 seconds. I think Vettel's in the pits. Yes, he is. So right, there's my teammate. You can actually see him. Not too sure what tyre he's on. Teammate status.
There's static over the radio. Say again.
Teammate status.
Gap to teammate ahead is 25.3 seconds.
Right.
They're on fresh mediums. They're in third.
Okay, mediums.
Some information
So
on Gasly. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
I don't know. If my teammate is in the podium and so are we, you know what? I may protect my teammate here and do a defend, or try to anyway. You know what I mean? Because I feel like my teammate could be in a good position, and I feel like we're in a good position. And if we are, then I might as well take a double point score. It don't hurt either of us. Teammate status.
We're trailing our teammate by 4.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in third.
Lewis Hamilton saying fastest lap of the race. Right here. So my teammate genuinely on the podium. We're going to go a bit defensive here. teammate genuinely is on the podium.
Hamilton's just made a move for first.
Myself and Verstappen getting a bit heated now as we are fighting genuinely for fourth. And possibly even for a podium spot, I'm not too sure. Teammate status.
Gap to teammate ahead is 4.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in third. The time last lap was a 1 minute 54.1. Okay, gap ahead is 4.7 seconds.
So, right, we're literally fighting Verstappen, Vettel, delaying Verstappen and Vettel to try and prevent these two from coming past here. Then gonna give it everything down the straight that we've got. Literally open up the car, pray to the racing gods. We've got everything. As Verstappen comes then for me, but so is Vettel. He's equally there. We will pick up the DRS this time over Verstappen. This is really close stuff then going on here, as my teammates somehow in the podiums. I'm somehow on the cuff of the podium. Vettel got the pace to get the podium. This is, well, interesting to say the least. Somehow my teammate has got ahead of me. Like, you know, despite we are clearly their pace all race long. But that isn't a bad thing. Like, you know, I think really what it was strategy, because he was on the one stop, that cost me possibly a podium, not too sure. But I certainly think the one stop does play a big factor here. Whereas if we were on a one stop, you know, probably we would have finished on the podium. We're just trying now to defend with all what we have. So in a way not get the, well, Carlos, but to prevent these guys behind getting Carlos, because team result, this is going to be huge for McLaren already at this stage in the season. Like, this will be huge, trust me. So, lap 21 and almost making a rookie error.
Okay, the gap to the car ahead is 5 seconds. Let's see if we can bring this gap down.
Vettel going to be right on my tail by the time we get to the end of this straight. And Vettel spinning, I'm sent spinning, for crying out loud. What did Vettel do? Let's have a look. Why did Vettel go for a move there? I left him the room as well. I don't know why we went spinning. Like, it weren't because of Vettel actually. I'm just going to use that as a flashback. But Vettel spinning,
Okay, clear.
probably killing Vettel now. But I did leave him a little bit of room, enough room to get by just. Plus it was in a corner and he didn't have really much momentum.
seeing any issues with tyre wear right now. You should have good grip for a while yet.
Right, let's try and bring the car home. So, 5 more laps really, or
Let's use some of this energy.
not too
Increase
many
the DRS
to go,
deployment.
put it that way. So McLaren gets their first podium. And this would be quick, well this would be earlier than what actually McLaren did in real life sort of thing. But can we make it a double podium? That's the question I've got. As Vettel back on the tail of Verstappen, we make a bit of an error down into turn 1, running a bit deep. We slid through that corner, not turning around it, sliding now. Now, if we want to get podium, we need to sort of put the hammer to the floor now.
Gap to car in front is 4.4 seconds.
I don't think today's going to be our day, as in we're not getting the podium. I really just don't think we are. Just feels like it's too far for me to go. And in a way, that is a bit of a low. Because at the end of the day, we started this race, 3rd place. We certainly
There's 5 laps of fuel
could have.
remaining.
We may not even get 3rd now. But don't get me wrong, if you're Ferrari, and literally nothing. We're blowing even now.
Charge is high.
For crying out loud. Feel like, you know, this race has just fallen apart all within the space of a matter of moments. You know what I mean, like we've gone from 4th down to effectively 6th, and like, yeah, it's just not a result. Now it's another 8 points if we can get even 6th, but yeah, it's pretty disappointing because at one point we were running, I believed, in a legit 3rd or 2nd place, you know, at one point. Just shows how Formula 1 changes so quickly in a blink of an eye. But we're still going to come home. Like, you know, 6th place is still very, very solid day's work. If you're, you know, a McLaren driver, you'd be thrilled with 6th. Like, overall, it's not bad, but because we genuinely had decent pace today, we've more or less kept pace with the Ferrari, the Red Bull. Maybe not quite pace with the other team, Mercedes, but we've kept pace with 2 good teams, and it's now just gone, really. That has. All this day's work feels like it's been blown up the wall. If you know what I mean, like. Fine, maybe we haven't got the car that's there yet, but, you know, my teammate is going to finish on the podium due to a better strategy. Not due to being quicker, but due to a better strategy than me. Because he had the 1 less stop, you know. My team basically gave him the better strategy, Carlos Sainz, over myself. Like, really, I think that's a bit stupid, really. But then, can I blame myself? I guess I've got to then ask myself that question. You know what I mean? Can I blame myself if my team gave, you know, my teammate the better of the 2 strategies? Still going to take home a good point score for McLaren, which I guess is the more, I don't know, is that more important to take home better point score for McLaren Championship?
As things stand, we'll be 8th in the championship.
Right, you know what I mean. But we are now starting to close quite rapidly in on them 2 cars up in front. Maybe there is one last change to this story, I guess. As we're now just making, literally, these tyres are gone. Like, they're absolutely dead, I'll tell you that now, but maybe there's one last story to be told. Not sure. Soon find out. Teammate status.
Gap to teammate ahead is 4.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 3rd. The time last lap was a 1:33.5.
Let's see if we can do a fastest lap, maybe. Oh, for crying out loud, this is literally annoying. Like, I know I'm going for fastest lap, but yeah.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Fuel, stay mix 3. Please fly a little bit more, kids.
This is your final lap of the race.
Oh, fuck you, Verstappen. Sorry.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
I'll take 5th. Well, part of me is pleased for the team, but another part of me says we should have been on the podium today. And we had the pace to do so. But, as I say, I'm pleased for the team because it's a huge point score. Teammate status.
Repeat that. There's interference. Couldn't
Meant to
see
say
that.
championship
Repeat the message.
status. Championship status.
As things stand, we'll be 6th in the championship.
6. There you go.
Okay, pick up
Oh.
and bring it home.
That's a bit of a shame, but as I say, still a very good weekend overall. 3rd in the quali, and obviously 5th in the race. That's not bad. I think we have to agree, like, you know, it probably could have been a podium, but my teammate, well, I'm not going to say he screwed me over. I'm going to blame that down to the team, who gave me the worst of the 2 strategies, personally, I think. But at the end of the day, neither here or there. It's still not the result we wanted at the end of the day. Bit disappointed, and yeah, you know, overall can't be entirely pleased, shall I say, with that all, because I think there's clearly evidence there that we could have, should have, maybe would have been on the podium if it wasn't for maybe just different factors. I don't know, like, but at the end of the day, we didn't get there. We failed to get 3rd, which is a bit of a shame, really. But at the end of the day, that's racing for you.
Let's see what effect this result has had.
I'm disappointed, but having said I'm disappointed, you know, I'm also happy to take the points that we took. So that's all for now then, ladies and gents. Obviously we'll just quickly look into the tyres for next race, and then obviously as well on top of that have a look where we sit in the standings quickly.
Excellent results.
So
finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews.
Looking
On
good.
to the next one.
So yeah, that was a good race actually, overall to some degree, but not all. Can't be entirely pleased. So make another 2 upgrades, so that's good. So hopefully we're making some nice upgrades. Going to the car, bringing them up nice and early. But yeah, so there we go then. So in championship standings, well, we're ahead of Albon, ahead of our teammate. We're ahead of Leclerc even. In terms of otherwise, we're now well ahead of also Racing Point. So we're just behind Ferrari. Red Bull still leads the way, you know, overall. But that's another point score, 6th and 5th in our first 2 races at McLaren, which ain't bad indeed, I don't think. You know, double point score, that's very good indeed, and we're keeping up with some of the big boys as well, which is good. And we're well ahead of also, you know, Racing Point by quite a decent margin. 15 points right now, the gap back to Racing Point, which is pretty decent indeed. Then a further 9 points back to, obviously, Haas, so that's basically 23 points now, the gap to Haas. And it's 30 points back to Renault and Alfa Romeo, then faithful, obviously, back to Williams and Toro Rosso. In terms of, you know, our lead also in the drivers, well, we're doing not too bad there either. So yeah, you know, we're doing pretty good. So it's been a pretty alright season so far. Not been too bad, but yeah, select tyres now for this weekend. Quickly we will, but yeah, that was a lot better certainly in the race. Like, very, very close indeed racing that was. And yeah, good haul of points, as I say, for myself and my teammate then there. And my teammate outraced me, like, in terms of, well, out-strategized, shall I say. He didn't outrace. He was the slower of us 2 McLarens in the end, but at the same time, having said he was slower 2 McLarens, he got the podium. We didn't, so yeah, you know, that says it all really. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you haven't, please make sure you do leave it a like. What a crazy race in that Bahrain already. And yeah, you know, that was pretty crazy indeed. I'm going to select a new rival. Actually, I'm not going to select a rival, forget that. But yeah, until the next time then, folks. Until then, take it easy. See you all next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you.